But we need now to Renee. Welcome to our studio, Renee. You are a book writer in your own right, of course. Now, you're the author of The Last Whale, Te Tohoroa, I must say this again, Te Tohoroa Whakamutunga.
Aye.
Have I said it right?
Yes, you have. Te Tohoroa Whakamutunga.
Yeah.
Aye.
Now, that's a children's book published both in Māori and English.
It is, yes.
What made you write that book?
I went to a hui up at Whitianga Marae in 1992 with the drama students from Toi Whakaari with Robin Payne, who's a friend of mine. She was the director then. And we were rained out. So, well, rained in, I suppose, is a better way of putting it. So the people of Whitianga entertained us, and one of the things that they did was share memories from their childhoods. A woman called Maka Jones, an elder there, shared her memory of whaling in the Eastern Bay of Plenty, how she remembered it used to be, how important it was to her family. And the drama students turned it into a performance piece. There was a young dancer from the National School of Ballet there as well. And so between the Toi Whakaari students and this beautiful young woman, they turned on a piece that I couldn't forget. And so the story came from the performance piece as much as it did from Maka Jones' childhood memories.
Now, both the English and Māori versions have been shortlisted for a picture book category in the Post Awards.
Yes, that's right.
That's wonderful. Is this the first book you've written?
Yes. Yes, it is.
But have you been a writer before that in other styles?
A journo and a columnist. Nearly said communist. A columnist.
Well, how has that journey been for you, having seen the students put on that performance and then putting it into a children's book?
Demanding.
Yeah.
Really demanding.
What's involved?
It was as if I had a vision in my head, a complete picture. And so some of the children at the schools that I visited last week said to me, Miss, how long did it take you to write? And I said 7 years. And they said, wow.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to them that it was really hard getting it from here to the paper in exactly the right words, and it needed to be exact. That was the thing. Other writing that I've done, journalism, if you produce something that is correct, then it's
good
right.
enough, yes,
but in this, correct was not good enough. It had to be right.
Because there is still assumption, I think, out in the non-writing world that, it's easy to flick off a child's book. It's only a couple of sentences per page, and why does it take so long? But it isn't. It's getting the essence, isn't it?
It is, and I think for one thing, you have to treat children with the same respect and integrity that you would, I imagine, you ought to treat an adult reader. But the other thing is, somehow a child's book, it seems to me maybe it's a bit like a poem, where every word and the shape of every sentence really counts. Because it's small, perhaps. Maybe because it's small, it requires that crafting. I'm not sure. I'm too new at it to really know what I'm talking about, but that's how I feel, I guess. Yeah.
Now, in your little bio here, you're married to Renee, and you have 2 children. And when they grew up in '94, you went bush. That sounds fascinating. What did you do?
Midlife crisis, I suppose. The children were gone, and we were sick of trying to be responsible and adult ourselves, and decided that we'd just go away and have some fun, and we did.
You went to a two-bedroom cottage?
Oh no, two-room cottage. Well, 1.5-room cottage with a wall missing between us and the elements, although we thought it was there, but it turned out just to be newspaper over spread out tin cans. And possums and rats and a dunny down the bank 30 metres away, and a bath out on the lawn that we lit a fire under, except that for the first 4 days the water supply was frozen, so we had to bucket it up from the creek. It was great fun. It was hard.
Yeah, you wanted to get out of the life you were living for a little while. What did that do for you, getting rid of all the everyday things like furniture and TV and stimulation like that?
It allowed us to be the people we might have been, different sorts of people, really. What
did you discover with yourself?
Oh, that I'm a lot older and fatter and unfitter than I thought I was. That I have capabilities I didn't know I had, that I'm quite brave in some ways, and that I like being alone, that I like being with my husband 24 hours of the day. That was fun. And if we did fall out, we could shriek at each other, and the nearest neighbour was about 3 miles away, so that was just fine. I could bellow at dogs and sound like a real farmer and be heard from one end of a valley to another. It was, the sorts of things you certainly don't find out about yourself in the city.
Now, you have Māori connections. In that time, is that when you did your research to your whakapapa,
To a certain extent, it's when I made first physical contact with any members of my birth family. But I had known I'm hopeless with dates, I guess about 10 years. I'd known what I had suspected but never had confirmed. In fact, my adoptive parents denied knowledge of my past. And I remember that my adopted mother said she believed I was not Māori. I always either thought I was or wanted to be. I have no idea now.
Amazing, yes.
I remember being deeply disappointed when she said that I was not, but I don't recall why now.
No, it's something
perhaps
inside.
It was the music. Perhaps I thought I'd learn to sing or something if somebody would just gift it to me. I don't know.
That's wonderful.
But after they died, I did a bit of research. And found my name, found my original birth certificate, and made contact with an uncle, but never pursued it beyond that. I did make contact with my birth mother, but she prefers that we just leave the past in the past, but gave me permission to speak to other members of the family. And so it was when we were up in Tortor in the Bay of Plenty that I did do that. An uncle rang and said,
so
was I going
to the roots, do you?
I beg your pardon?
Do you have Bay of Plenty roots?
No, I'm Tiatiawa from Taranaki,
right,
from Waitara, and that's where he was living. But he was a Māori warden, and he just rang one day and said, "Are you going to the tangi today?" And I said, "Tangi? What tangi? I don't know anything about a tangi." And he said, "Oh yes, at Te Teko. John's died," and I didn't know who John was, but he obviously felt I should, and so he said, "Well, come and we'll meet," and that will be the first time that we met. And so that's what I did. I went down to Te Teko, to the tangi, and met my uncle and a cousin. And from there I have met, I discover from him that I'm the eldest of 13 children, and I've met a brother, which is just marvellous, and he looks like me. Yes, the whole adopted thing. Yeah, we look alike, we laugh in similar ways, the eyes do the same thing.
Oh, that must have been very emotional.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty weepy there for a while. We sort of wandered about, clinging to each other. We don't have very much in common. We have had different lives, but it doesn't seem much to matter.
Physically, you're so close.
Yes, that's right, and that physical contact is really quite important.
Now, Renee, with your journo background, and you've had columns, and you've written a bit about this, and it's been compiled into a book, is that right?
Vanity Press, yes, a wonderful thing.
Is that the title of it?
No, well, that's how I got it published. I did it myself, paid for it myself. It was because people who'd read the column had missed the beginning, perhaps, and wanted to know how on earth we'd ended up in this situation up in the bush. It was called Going Bush.
Going Bush, right. And can we purchase that now?
No, it's out of print. I've only printed 350 copies of it, and it sold out, and that was the end of that.
You achieved what you wanted to.
I certainly did, and paid a few bills, or did something with it. I'm not sure now. At the moment, it was some sort of financial crisis that I needed to deal with. But I sometimes wonder now, really, there's quite a few man-alone books and men doing those sorts of bush, the hunting, the great escape, man against the nature or whatever it is. And I thought, well, a couple of middle-aged people against an experience they've never had before might be quite fun, and it probably still will be, I'm not sure. It may be a book for the future.
Well, Renee, happy marika van der Wet, thank you very, very much for sharing a bit of your life with us today.
You're welcome.
And we wish you all the best for the prize giving coming up.
Thank you very much, May.
You're watching Wellington Today. Later on, after the break, Annie Hay would be in, and soon Susie Green and Dr. Juliet Broadmoor. Catch you then.
Blue Island Seafoods, Lower Hutt. Drop in and indulge yourself in our award-winning fish and chips, prepared to the highest quality. Choose from our extensive menu of mouth-watering seafood and tasty extras. Treat your taste buds with generous portions of tender fresh fish and golden crispy chips. Blue Island Seafoods, 131 Randwick Road, Lower Hutt. Phone 568 2806. So, what are you having for tea tonight?
The Wheelie Bin Company has tailor-made waste systems. From Wellington to Kapiti, there's a service that's convenient and hassle-free to suit you. The Wheelie Bin Company. Call their toll-free 0800 number to order.